All right, how's everyone doing? I am Rich CELENZA. Thanks for checking out the Rich CELENZA show. So what I'm going to talk about today is, are you embarrassing yourself? Now, I'm not going to be talking about the type of embarrassment where, you get drunk one night and you do something stupid, or you may have, maybe you've gone out and partied in one way or another, or you did something like, you got caught picking your nose, farting, something ridiculous like that, and you're kind of embarrassed regarding that. That's not what I'm going to get into today. What I'm going to kind of get into is more of your behavior, because I do see a lot of people out there behaving a certain way where they may not even realize it, but they're embarrassing. Now, I'm not here to tell you you have to behave any certain way. You're going to behave the way you want to behave, as long as basically you're not breaking the law or hurting others. But I do think a lot of people don't realize that their behavior or doing a lot of things is embarrassing others as well. I also think their behavior becomes embarrassing, and it also affects their relationships. It could be with friends, family members, even, as far as even your husband, your wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, even with your kids. A lot of times we have to address that our behavior really isn't always, right, I guess you could say. I don't think we all act the perfect way, obviously, across the board in life in general. We have our ups and down days. We get moody, we get pissed off, we get triggered, I guess. A lot of times, especially I think during the pandemic, there's a lot of things being said or being done that you do like or you don't like, you agree or you disagree with. But I will say this, though, when it comes to if you're in a relationship, because a lot of times that's what I talk about. A lot of your behavior, you may not even realize, again, you may be very moody around whoever you're with, husband, wife, girlfriend, or whatever. Again, your kids, it could be others, work colleagues in them. You're very moody and you may lash out. You also may ignore them, or you just, how do I say it? You're just not yourself to a certain degree, but also you make things uncomfortable for a lot of people. And sometimes I've noticed, like, say the next day, somebody will come back and go, man, I'm really sorry about that. I'm kind of embarrassed. I didn't mean to say that or do that or act that way. And you're like, hey, that's cool. I get it. We all have bad days. A week later, same old shit. A month later, same old shit. Here's the deal. You got to call yourself out on this. If you're somebody out there who has a problem being in relationships, or you're starting to see a lot of people distance themselves from you or retaliate against you, a lot of it may be on you. I talk a lot of times about everybody else pointing out how they're embarrassed because of somebody else's behavior, but they don't really recognize their behavior also embarrasses others as well. It's kind of somebody who's always pointing the finger saying, look at that person. Can you believe they said and did this? Oh my God, their family's got to be embarrassed for them. Or they're, I can't believe, if I was married to that person, I would never tolerate that. Look how embarrassing. That's kind of ridiculous. I'm just saying, because again, pointing fingers at others and really not acknowledging your behavior. And I'm not here to tell you, again, that everyone has a perfect behavior. I have my ups and downs as well. And why I bring this up is sometimes I get moody at night. It's not super often. And it's kind of funny because my girlfriend will say, like, we'll go through the days. What happened this day? What happened that? I'm usually very silly at night, and I do like a stand-up routine, joking, goofing around. And then if I'm not in the mood or whatever, it could be normal, just going to sleep or watching TV like everyone else. But sometimes I get a little moody at night. And then she'll be like, oh, that was the night you were moody. You didn't, you just went to bed. You didn't really say much or talk. You kind of, and I'm like, oh my God, that's kind of ridiculous. Why would I even behave like that? I mean, I'll ask her, did I even say, she's like, no, you were fine. You showered and you just came to bed. You didn't want to be bothered with anybody. You put your headphones on, you shut down. And I'm like, just out of, common courtesy, I should be telling her good night, hug her, give her a kiss instead. And I talk about this a lot. The way that night ends kind of determines the next day a lot of times. And I caught myself being embarrassed of doing that sometimes. And it kind of came up that I've done that more than once lately. So I'm like, that's kind of embarrassing. I'm able to call myself out doing this. So I just thought I would do a podcast on this. I know I've been doing some wacky titles, but I do think a lot of people don't acknowledge their behavior. And here's the other thing, I will wrap it up with embarrassment. Listen, though, we all embarrass ourselves. Do not beat yourself up. No one is perfect. Even if you're out and you do something funny, I don't care if you fall, laugh. You may say something inappropriate. You may do something that you may regret later. Don't think you're alone. I would say everybody, for the most part, is going to embarrass themselves multiple times throughout their life. But I do think there's a difference between an accident kind of embarrassment or, kind of doing something and then kind of regretting it and really not being harmful, I guess. And then there's other times where moods and attitudes where you are actually intending to hurt others. And then, truthfully, I'm not saying you should be embarrassed of your behavior, because I'm not saying that's for me to judge you that way, but sometimes you got to call yourself out and say, why am I behaving this way? And am I is what I'm doing, better for everybody involved, or am I just making things worse? So, and if you constantly catch yourself having to apologize for your behavior or because you're embarrassed, you really got to get a hold on that. I'm just saying, in my opinion. So, wrap it up there. You got any questions or comments, hit me up. I'm at richcelenza.com. masteringselfconfidence.com is my other website where I try to help men build confidence. And I kind of touch upon these things, especially when in relationships with women or men or whoever the hell you are. Because again, behavior is everything. If you're going to act like an asshole all the time and people are going to be embarrassed around you, they're not going to be around you. I'm just telling you. So that's all I got for you. Take care.